Hey, Bible Chronicle fanners. Ow, look what I got, a microphone. Hello, hello, testing. Yes, I got this microphone so that I don't have to constantly record in my car. This allows me to not feel like I am yelling, and it just feels more, like fancy. Right? So anyway, back to Fight Club, right? I wanted to come pop back in here so we can continue our lesson on Fight Club. And what happens in Fight Club stays in Fight Club, right? So I wanted to go ahead and pull a verse up. I got my good old hard Bible. And I want to take us on over to Ecclesiastes. When you get to it, everybody say amen. We're going to Ecclesiastes. And I want to pull up the scripture where the Lord is talking about there's a time for everything, right? Because when people listen to my videos, Fight Club, they only think of the most aggressive ways to fight. And there are so many ways to fight. And let's think about it. What is the reason to fight spiritually? We are in spiritual warfare every single day. And this Bible says there's a time for everything. Matter of fact, let's go on to it. So we go in Ecclesiastes 1, verse 1 through 8. And it reads, "There's a time for everything and a season for everything and for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace, right? We're going to go ahead and stop the read right there. That is in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. Now, I wanted to read that because there is a time for everything. And like I said before, I am in my war season. But if you really think about it, every day should be a war season. If you got to die to yourself daily, how do you die to yourself if somebody's not killing something, right? To die to yourself is to deny yourself. Now, your body is going to respond like, what's going on? I don't care if it's sugar and sweets. Detoxing from caffeine or nicotine or a drug, heroin, crack, cocaine, weed, alcohol, your body will let you know that it is not in agreement with you. And then the fight has to kick in, right? The fight comes in when it's like you either gonna give in, you're either gonna succumb, give in to what your flesh is saying to you, or you're gonna fight against it. We are fighting against our flesh every single day. Every day you have to deny yourself. That is a small battle. That's an internal battle. Now we're not talking about the external battles that come, situations, hardships, bad things happen to good people every single day. I can't say like, oh my gosh, you must have did something wrong with that. There is multiple levels to fighting. You have like multiple levels. Like even if you're in a relationship, you might say, man, I got into a fight with my girl. That don't mean that you physically beat her up. That means that y'all had an exchange of words that neither one of y'all agreed upon, right? You're calling that an altercation. You're calling that a fight. When I'm using the word fight, I'm saying every single day we got to fight to live, fight to survive, fight our flesh, fight the enemy, fight ourselves. Well, that would be the flesh. But you understand what I'm saying, right? The moment that you give in, you're succumbing to. What if somebody was a recovering alcohol addict and you having these cravings? You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight through the cravings, right? This is when you get a sponsor. This is when you get somebody that can help support you in the decision that you're making to be sober, right? So it's the same in the spiritual realm, but bump it up a couple of notches, y'all. We have to fight Every single day, upon opening up your eyes, as long as you live, you will be in a daily fight. Every single day. Every single day, you got to choose. I choose you, God. I choose you today. And I choose to eat healthy. And I choose to go to the gym. And I choose to whatever the thing is that you're choosing. And whatever your body is resistant, you are gonna have to tell your body, like, back down. You're not getting that extra meal. You're not getting that, flesh feeling, that lust, that pleasure. You're not gonna get it. And that is an internal fight. Even your thoughts. Cast down your pull down the strongholds and imaginations, right? The Bible tells you have to cast your own thoughts down, cast them out, that you have to renew your mind. You know how hard it is to unlearn something? That means that you have to put down what you believe, even about yourself. You have to put down what you believe and pick up what God says. Once upon a time, I didn't believe much about myself once upon a time, until the Lord started telling me, no, Meek, this is who you are. This is who I say you are. This is what I want you to do. This is where I want you to go. This is what I want you to say, right? And I had to slowly, it happened for me slowly. And some people, our path and our journey and our walk is all according to you, right? But I'm just saying, I'm so grateful that I am where I am today, and I'm no longer in that limbo or sunken place where I believe the things that I thought about myself, or what other people thought about me. Can you imagine that? Other people had so much power over me back in the day that I actually cared about what other people thought about me. Let's let that sit in. How many of us still do that? But what I'm saying to you right now is that this fight is so important. And I would like to leave with you guys. The number one, we're going to start with one right now. Number one weapon is obedience. Because the enemy will come at you with your lack of obedience. And when you do something that you know you're not supposed to be doing, you feel bad. Then who beats you up more than you beat yourself up? No one. No one will beat you up more than you will beat your own self up. Let's let that sink in. So the enemy don't have to do much but get you to think bad of yourself, or get you to feel guilty about something. So if you know you don't have no business doing something, and you go ahead and do the thing that you know better, that you feel that you know not to do, and you go ahead and do that thing, now you sitting wrapped up in guilt, which the enemy will turn into condemnation. And if you don't have a strong relationship with God, you will confuse God's conviction with condemnation. And the enemy will sit back, eat popcorn, and watch you rock yourself. Okay? Now, I don't mean that type of fight now, y'all. Don't get me all messed up here. I don't mean that type of fight. I don't want you to fight yourself in a negative way. I want you to fight your flesh to be a kingdom citizen, to make your spirit bigger. We die to ourselves daily. We fight every single day in our will and our obedience to God, to our flesh, right? These are the internal things we have to fight. And then we have external things. But if we can't fight for the internal things, then the external things will make us feel very overwhelmed. And this is where people start feeling like they're drowning, because you got all of this going on right here, and then whoosh, a whole bunch of stuff is getting ready to get thrown at you in the midst of that. So let's get our emotional health together. Let's start to heal for real. Like for real. Like heal for real. Forgiveness. Okay, I said it was going to just leave one. Obedience. We're not going to touch forgiveness right now. I'll just save that for another video. But I'm telling you guys, there is a proven strategy for your healing, and it is inside this Bible. Healing doesn't always feel good. Like if you ever broke a bone and the doctor say, hey, let me see your arm, I gotta pop that thing back in place. It doesn't feel good, but you know it's necessary for the healing. You will be scared to death to give the doctor your arm, but you know you have to. You have to give him your arm for him to pop it back in place, which is going to hurt. And then after he pops it in place, it's still going to hurt a little bit for a little while, right? So what I'm saying is our internal healing is the same. We have to go to the Father with the pain, and then we have to allow him to touch us where we hurt. Touch that spot. Touch us where we hurt, God. And it's going to hurt when he touch it, because he got to say, here, right here, this hurt right here. And then let him go ahead and be the doctor that he is. Let him go ahead and heal us from the inside out. And once we go ahead and let him touch that place and we cry it out and we get the comforter that comes immediately, God is near to the brokenhearted. So he comes immediately. He sits with us. He comforts us, right? And then what? And then he strengthens us. And then he say, listen, where that area of pain is that I just healed, the enemy knows that you're weak in this area. I need you to start training and practicing and getting stronger in the area that you're feeling the most vulnerable and weak. Because if you don't, you leave room for the enemy to wreck shop. I love you all so very, very, very much. About that, I'm going to be gone because I got to go pick my daughter up from the Leaders Club. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.